every single obstacle against me, every odd, every possible scenario that could prevent someone from succeeding and keep them held back in generational cycles of poverty was my life, right? It's a single parent home, gang infested, crime infested neighborhood where drive-bys and home evasions were a norm. Friends pregnant by 15, a lot of their brothers and making 18. It was just not a place where success lived. If you're married, your success really will be dependent on your partner. Not what they do in the company, but how successful, how supportive they are of you. There were times that I didn't have balance. I try to balance my life. God first, family second, business third. I don't always get that right, but that's what I try to go for. But when I'm out of balance, like when I was taping my show, I was gone Monday through Friday, home on the weekends during that whole stint, right? My partner was able to backfill and be that support system. So business owner did not have a business plan. And without a business plan, that's your roadmap. Like I said, like your business plan is telling you how you're going to get there. So failing to plan is planning to fail. And if you don't line it out, then you're just kind of aimlessly out there.
The one and only Mahisha Dellinger, also fabulously known from Curls, but we're going to start talking about her movement, the Black Women Making Millions Academy, and the impact that the Academy has on the individuals she served, where she's pulling them from, and how you can take advantage of the Academy. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Let's talk about the Academy, kind of what your thought was behind that and where it's going, what you've done, and how fabulous things are going for women.
Well, I created the Academy, Black Women Making Millions Academy, to help women of color achieve success through entrepreneurship. A lot of us don't have the resources, the information, the access, the tools to get to and through success, unlike our other counterparts. So the purpose of the Academy is for me to make sure that we provide that for women of color. So the Academy we offer free classes, and you just have to register and sign up. And they're like MBA style classes that you can actually learn everything from how to write a business plan to how to market to, how to create a structured request for funding, everything under the sun that you need. And it's just a blessing to be able to help. We're looking to help transform 25,000 businesses within a year. So that's our goal.
Wow. Now that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. So follow us so you can get involved with the Academy on Instagram at Black Women Making Millions Academy.
Definitely. Tell us what the average person looks like that comes through the Academy.
Okay, so the class, it's ongoing sessions, right?
Oh,
so
nice.
Every weekend's a different set of sessions.
Oh, nice.
And then when we have our in-person events, we actually are able to do different tracks based on where you are in your entrepreneur journey. Okay. So, for example, if you are a brand new entrepreneur and you're looking to get started from, day one, and you need to know how to create a business, get the LLC, all the things up and going, that's a startup track. Okay. And then if you're an entrepreneur who already has a business but needs help growing it, that's the come up track. Okay. And then if you want to get funding and you want to pitch, then that's the blow up track.
Okay, wonderful. Well, let's talk about your journey to Curls.
Okay, awesome.
How did you get started? Did you always know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur, or?
No, actually, I didn't know. I actually thought I was going to retire at Intel Corporation. My experience, though, with corporate racism actually sent me to entrepreneurship because I was looking to get out of a very aggressive climate. So Curls was born because really of being ostracized, right, in corporate America, not feeling marginalized, not feeling appreciated. So I took my talent and launched out on my own.
Okay. Well, you came from corporate America into Curls, but did you always have the silver spoon of corporate America, or what was your journey to get to corporate America?
Well, my journey was not one with a silver spoon, but I think a lot of people know my journey. It really was one of every single obstacle against me, every odd, every possible scenario that could prevent someone from succeeding and keep them held back in generational cycles of poverty was my life, right? So, single parent home, gang infested, crime infested neighborhood where drive-bys and home evasions were a norm. Friends pregnant by 15, a lot of their brothers didn't make it to 18. It was just not a place where success lived. And so taking yourself out of that really took a lot of grit, determination, perseverance, by any means necessary work. And that's what I did.
Now, was there a mentor, or you just knew you had to do better than what you were doing?
I did not have a mentor, but I knew I wanted more.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not. And I do recommend having a mentor. So anyone out there watching, please always get a mentor, because that, helps you avoid pitfalls. It can save you lots of money. It can actually connect you to the right people. I should have had one earlier. I got one much later. I didn't even know where to go to get a mentor.
Right.
But later I did wind up getting one right as I was starting the Curls brand. Okay. Then I got a mentor from score.org, which is a nonprofit, and they actually give you free mentors in your industry.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
That's a nugget people need. Score.com.
Yes, score.org.
Score.org.
Yes.
Okay, so we have that. That is awesome. So your mentor helped you to work out your plan for curls, or kind of tell us, I know you were tired of corporate America and you were like, how was it hair care instantly?
Well, hair care, because I was a newly natural mother looking for products, and back then there weren't a lot of options.
Okay.
So, think about 2002. What our market looked like, an aisle full of relaxers, Jerry curl products, Wave Nouveau, Let's Jam, Stay Soft Faux.
Right. Well, I always think of Bronner Brothers.
Bronner Brothers. Yeah. Right.
That was like the pinnacle of success back then.
Yep. All those legacy brands. Yeah.
Right.
So that's what inspired me, because I wanted natural products for me and my baby.
Okay. And your products, let's be clear, even though they're inspired for natural hair, they can be used on wigs, they can be used on extensions, all of that.
But we also have a line for women that wear wigs, weaves, and extensions.
Oh, really?
The new collection, Hair Under There, for women that are, because listen, more of us are, rocking protective styles, experimenting with wigs and weaves, even people not of color, right?
Right.
It's now no longer a faux. It's more like an accessory. Right. So people are changing their color, the length, the style, like they change their underwear. It's like not even a thing. So what do you do when it's under? Your hair is covered, and your hair under is constantly covered. You have to take care of it. So we created a collection to help take care, moisturize, condition, and help enhance it while it's still covered.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Hair Under There.
Has Hair Under There dropped? Or?
Yes, it has. It's in Target and Walmart.
Okay, that is awesome. And so it's the complete product line for people who
so we have a detox cleanser, because when your scalp is like itchy and been under pieces for a while, an amazing deep conditioner, a scalp treatment to get to that dry area, an edge control to blend the two, wig and weave, but also help prevent thinning edges.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Yes.
And then we have a braid-in leave-in conditioner. So before you apply the wig or weave, you can braid that in to keep it moist and supple while it's protected.
Okay, that is awesome. So I'm sure you have enjoyed the move to Texas.
Yes,
and becoming a Texan. You love it?
I do. So I'm from California. I launched in 2002 in California. I moved here 9 years ago. It made sense for me. I was manufacturing here already.
Okay.
When I was in California. Okay. I was actually manufacturing here because the cost and labor force and regulations were better here. So I was back and forth here quite a bit.
Right.
And so I decided to move my family here. After my oldest graduated from high school, I didn't want to disrupt her. Then we came to Texas.
Okay.
I do.
What did that mean for curls in terms of taking a corporation from one state to another?
No, actually, it wasn't a big move because I was already manufacturing here. That's the biggest piece, is having that business part in order, right? I decided to get another office here.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a smooth, from a business perspective, process. And honestly, moving wasn't that bad personally either.
Okay.
We just my husband got all the way together, and we got the right team, and it was pretty seamless.
Okay. Well, that's always nice when it's seamless.
Yeah.
So do you manufacture your own product, or do you have that part external?
So yes, there's a manufacturing partner that we have.
Okay.
That's here, located here.
Okay, wonderful. And so when you came and when you develop your other products, the same thing happens?
It depends. Sometimes it depends on what it is. Some of them are internal, some are external, but that partnership is pretty solid. So we do start there usually.
Okay, well, that is wonderful. What would you say to the entrepreneur looking to do their own brand in regards to manufacturing?
Make sure that you interview and visit multiple manufacturing plants. Make sure you're able to see the work inside and out. Make sure that you get some references. Make sure that you know they are actually have been manufactured for at least 10 years. You want someone that has solid history. And also very important, make sure they do lots of testing. Safety, microbiology testing, eye patch and skin testing. All those things are be important for making sure your product is nice and safe.
Okay, that is wonderful. What is the top success that the brand has seen to date?
Well, you know, the brand has had a lot of success throughout all the years. So we've gone from an idea to a multi-million-dollar company. We continue to grow every year. So it's definitely a blessing. And just making sure that every year that we grow and continue to develop what the consumer is looking for, thus like bringing hair under there into the fold of curls because, again, more women are wearing wigs, weaves, and extensions. So it's just a no-brainer.
Right. Now, how do you tell the entrepreneur to chart that into their business plan for growth?
It depends on your industry that you're in, but you should definitely have a roadmap, a business plan, and a marketing plan. And those are roadmaps, right, to success. So what your plan is, whatever percent that is a year that you want to grow, that's something you bring into that plan. But, you know, when you create the plan, you want to be aggressive, but also, I would say realistic, right? Okay. Say year one, I'm going to become, from year one, I'm going to grow 80%. I mean, you just really have to really look at to the numbers and go deep into the industry, go deep into what the averages look like for your industry. Do your competition research, make sure you do that due diligence, and then kind of check that your business plan and your marketing plan are living, breathing documents. So you should be looking at those every month. So see how you're doing. And as you're getting your financials, see how you ended the month, see how you're charting that to your growth projections.
Right. And you've done a lot of work helping entrepreneurs. What's the biggest weakness that you see?
That's great. I mean, easy, no brainer. Lack of planning, no business plans. Even on my show on OWN, when I was helping women, like 9 times out of 10, the business owner did not have a business plan. And without a business plan, I mean, that's your roadmap. Like I said, like your business plan is telling you how you're going to get there. So failing to plan is planning to fail. And if you don't line it out, then you're just kind of aimlessly out there.
Okay. And you were able to help those women recover.
Yes. Well, one was a knucklehead, you know.
Okay.
She was so hard-headed and didn't want to listen. So she was hard. But you're not going to be able to help everyone. Not everyone will receive what they need to receive.
Right.
You know, and so you try and then you move on.
Right. Absolutely. What would you say to working mothers, women entrepreneurs that want to have a work-life balance, but they're struggling?
I definitely would say your partner matters. There will be times when you won't have balance. Like there were times that I didn't have balance. I try to balance my life. You know, God first, family second, business third. I don't always get that right, but that's what I try to go for. But when I'm out of balance, like when I was taping my show, I was gone Monday through Friday, home on the weekends during that whole stint, right? My partner was able to backfill and be that support system. So Oprah mentioned, and it's so true, that success, if you're married, your success really will be dependent on your partner. Not what they do in the company, but how supportive they are of you. Because you have to feel like you have that support. And every single time you see someone without a supportive spouse, you see that there's going to be cracks in the businesses because they aren't able to really, you know, activate. And I wouldn't have been able to activate the way I was without my husband.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. That's wonderful. What is the one big nugget you would want people to know about you?
Well, the biggest thing I would hope people will remember and then also be encouraged and empowered.
All right, y'all. Before we continue,
Altruist Home Care Solutions is one of the top accredited home health care agencies servicing North and East Texas. With over 25 years of caring for Texas families, Altruist network of staff has become the preferred provider of physical and occupational therapy, wound, post-surgery, and primary care within the comfort of your home. Altruist Home Health Care works in conjunction with you, your loved ones, and your primary care physician to provide stellar care with honor and integrity. For more information on our services, visit our website www.altruisthhc.com or call us at 214-328-8600. Now back to the show.
It doesn't matter where you've come from. It just matters where you're going to go. And so looking at Mahisha today, she's different than the girl from the hood. But remember, if I can do it, so can you. So it's not where you start, and don't be embarrassed by your background, your current state of affairs, wherever you are, your environment. Just get yourself out of it.
Right. And were you that girl from the hood?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even when you got to college, you were...
we were still, yes.
Ironing all that
We were
out.
still, living. I was at home with my mom. I wound up having my oldest, Kiana, when I was in school, in college. So I stayed at home so she can help me with her.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
so we were still
absolutely.
living, in the same place. She wound up moving. My mom did after, I think we moved out when Kiana was about 3.
Okay.
Yeah, and then she moved to a different area, new condo. She got a little condo. And then things started to change for her a little after that, yeah.
Okay, well, that's wonderful.
I think the success, longevity rather, is attributed to being agile, listening to the consumer, developing what they're asking for, making sure that we continue to evolve. You have to evolve with the times or you'll dissolve. So we continue to evolve the business, making sure that we're growing where we need to grow, seizing opportunities, expanding where I can, being aggressive with getting more distribution, and just making sure that we stay true to our mission and vision. And that's important. There are a lot of brands out there, so you have to continue to be consistent and true to your values, which from us is clean products, organic ingredients, or ingredients that actually have a story and a clinical proof about their efficacy, which is important, like showing that, so blueberry extract can grow your hair, prevent breakage, and restore damage. That is something that's clinically proven, and that's our extract in our #1 selling collection. And it's also unique. No one else formulated with blueberries. So finding those unique properties with clinical data, high-performing products, and develop that formula over and over again and continue to evolve is important.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about evolving. How did Curls evolve during the pandemic, kind of when it first began and everything shut down? Did you have to make any transitions in the way you delivered, or what happened?
Good
Was
question.
Thank you.
We actually we had over 200 Curls ambassadors in the U.S. So those Curls ambassadors were activating every weekend. In some city, at least 3 or 4 cities were doing something, whether they were sampling products at a Beyonce concert, or working a trade show event, or doing an expo. There was always something going on, and that stopped. So all of our Curls ambassadors had to stop working, right? We were out there a lot with events. So then we had to move to virtual events. So we got really creative and created a lot of virtual events. And we started, though, in the height of it with a wellness retreat online, because people were so crazy. It was so chaotic and people were so down. And we brought some key people in, and we had these sessions. We started with prayer, and then one about your health and taking care of yourself. Another one, counseling sessions. We did all kinds of great things with the wellness, and went from that to creative events. Like one thing that we did didn't relate to hair at all, was Curls Got Talent. And it was like a virtual talent show with prizes, thousands of dollars of prizes for the first, second, third winner. Just fun, like levity for our people. And then move from those kind of things to we did like a master class of different hair care tips and tricks. But how did you do that, sis? Was recreating famous styles, and you actually have all your stuff with you, and we show you as you're doing it. So that was fun. We had so many events. We wind up having So many virtual events that were so like well attended. It was amazing.
That's awesome. Now, did you sell tickets or you?
No, they were free.
Okay.
It was during the
Okay.
time. Now they were like for the classes, you would actually be able to buy product at a discount, of course.
Oh, nice.
But that the Curls Got Talent had nothing to do with products. And then we started the Curls Shopping Network, which is like the home shopping network with the hosts and different kits and things. And that was a blast. So we're still doing that actually.
It sounds fun.
Yeah.
Now, are you hands-on? I know that you're a marketing major, but are you hands-on in the details of the marketing, or do you have a separate marketing department?
Oh yes, separate.
That
Like
you
I'll
defer to?
definitely separate, but I will bring ideas. Like it was my
Okay.
idea to do Curl Shopping Network.
Okay.
I was like, let's
Okay.
rip that, and put and I'll make it look like that logo almost. When to do a spin on it, spoof on it. So yeah, that was my idea. But we have girls and team members that come with these ideas.
Okay. So you're open to the creativity.
Of
your
course,
team.
yeah, absolutely.
And you said staying relevant was important,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So where do you see curls in 10 years?
I see curls in activating in multiple markets. So right now, mostly hair care, right? Meaning products, wet products. I see us moving beyond that. I see us doing more, and I can't share now because people will come in and try
Take
So we're going to explore outside of the wet products categories, and we're activating there presently, getting things going.
That's awesome. How many countries is curls in?
I stopped counting.
Okay.
I don't.
So
I
you're all over the world.
Yes, I don't.
Nice.
I used to count back when we were virtual. I mean, we're e-commerce based, and now we're distributed in so many stores. Distributors are selling it everywhere.
Okay.
I lost track.
Right.
So we do have new tools. So we have our texture turban, which is a great towel that you wrap your hair up and it gets rid of all the moisture, but defines the curls without drying it out and frizzing it. That's brand new. We have an edge brush, a detangling brush, a comb rather, and a customizable like Denman-like brush where you can actually remove the different layers of bristles based on what you need from the brush. So it comes with 18 rows, right? But then you can take them out and customize. So if your hair is tighter and you need, a little bit more space in between those bristles, you can do so. If it's looser, you can, make it tighter, make the bristles closer together. If you're trying to create a wave, obviously you can switch that up too. So it's a very customizable brush, which is unique.
That is unique. That is. Now, is research and development coming up with all of these ideas? Because these are fantastic.
Well, yeah, there's a mixture. Like Here and There was my idea. Didn't go through the R&D department. It was my
Okay.
idea because I just did some research. But what's coming up now, accessories were kind of like low-hanging fruit.
Okay.
But the new things that we're doing, they're heavy on R&D that require years of development. That's going through the department and through all of the many steps.
Wow.
It's a
That's
lot.
fantastic.
It's a lot.
And yeah, you've dropped a lot on us in a short period of time, and it's been fantastic. What would you say to the entrepreneur who maybe they're not in hair care, but they're in any business? What would you say to them as far as the inspiration to keep going and not stop, or maybe know when to stop, know your limits? I don't know. What's your philosophy?
Well, I have tidbits and input and suggestions for any entrepreneur. First of all, like we kind of touched on, make sure you always start with a mentor. Like I said, I got one later and it really helped me avoid a lot of pitfalls. I know a lot of us like to go it alone. We're strong, we're independent, and we wear that as a badge of honor, but sometimes that can hinder us.
Okay, and let's talk a little bit about, because you do bring up an excellent point, let's talk about what a mentor should look like for an individual.
A mentor needs to be someone, number one, that has the time to actually sit with you, at least say once a month, and offer guidance, offer support, offer connections, and just be there to support your journey. You definitely want someone in your industry that's going to help you. That's what helped me. And make sure that this person just really is going to be invested in you. But then you also want to make sure that beyond having a mentor, you do your due diligence. I see you have a lot of great ideas, right? They're great ideas. Every day someone has a great idea. But doing your due diligence will determine if you're able to actually take that idea and make it a sustainable business. So ideas happen, but then if you don't see it through, how do you know it's actually going to be one that's going to be profitable? So research it, see if there's a need for the product you're looking that, see what the market holds. Like if do a focus group and show the product, show the idea, see what people's perception will be of it. Test the market first. Take your time on it versus just going right to market. That's very important. This is a little bit different from a lot of philosophies, but I recommend not getting funding out the gate. Going into debt is not to me, some people say get funding right away. In my perspective, getting funding out the gate can cause you to be in debt, and then you can lose your shirt easily. But if you're working with a smaller budget, because like I wasn't able to get a small business loan despite having great credit, personal credit, I could not get a business loan. I had a great business plan, all the things, still couldn't get one. And it wound up being a blessing because I worked with a lot less. But what I did was I was really diligent with those pennies. Okay. So I made them work really hard. I had really great marketing guerrilla ideas. I really had to, really go hard and not just maybe throw money at full page ads and TV, commercials, like without having all of the ducks in a row. It really did create a lot of focus and intentionality. And once I launched, I invested every penny made back from the company back into the company. But it enabled me to really be diligent with the money, a good steward, and spend wisely, and then grow it organically. Now, I think it definitely could have been beneficial to have had maybe $30 additional $1,000, 40, 50 potentially. But I was definitely a good steward with it and worked it.
That's wonderful. And you touched a little bit on funding. A lot of times, like you said, we have ideas in the minority community, the funding is not available. The loans aren't available to us.
Right.
And that's kind of been the resounding message here on season 3 with the guests. Everybody has had that struggle. Do you have any recommendations or tips when it's just not available? And I think you touched on start slow.
Start small. Use your own
funds.
Yeah. Yep. Tap into Super Scent did with Krella Case. What's the name of this? She actually got the support of her community and did a crowdfunding, I think she did, right? And got people to support and believe in her. So start with your community and definitely try to go. One thing that works too, the big banks won't help you, like a Chase, Bank of America. They typically aren't going to help. But find a local neighborhood bank with maybe 1 or 2 or 3 branches, and they're more invested in the community, right?
Right.
So then if they see that you connect with the vice president or the president, and they feel like you have a great business plan, great idea, you connect with them, they may help you with a line of credit and some other funding. So start with getting a relationship with a local bank, a local small bank.
Local small. Yeah. That's excellent.
I think a lot of people in this Instagram, Insta-famous, turn a product into profits overnight. People think it doesn't require a lot of work out the gate because people see Super Scent with she made $1 million in 30 minutes. That is not the norm. Expect to be in the game 7 years, before you see true profit. It may be less, it may be more, but do not expect to get out the gate with success at that level. It's just not the norm. She was an influencer first, right, with massive following. And which is great because it helped build, fuel for her company. But I want people not to be discouraged and think that it should happen overnight, or if it doesn't happen overnight, I'm not successful. Just keep building it and going after it and grow it over time.
Right. It's a journey.
It's a journey.
Definitely a journey.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on Big Texas Bossing. Welcome back anytime. We've enjoyed you. You dropped a lot of nuggets that I know the viewers will love. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to Big Texas Bossing Podcast. If you like these conversations, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on all social media platforms at Big Texas Bossing. Tag us on social at #BTB.